important for any and everybody to be self-sufficient, but most importantly for women, a lot of times I think our society doesn't always put the focus on us understanding the dynamics behind finances.
I noticed that like a lot of the books out there, a lot of these top name books that you'll hear about were written by men, and in a way kind of felt like they were written for men. I say all the time, it felt like it's almost like the financial version of ESPN, or what your financial situation is. There is somebody who would work with you to help you attain your goals.
It was really difficult for me to reach out because I felt ashamed for where I was in my circumstances financially, because I was an independent woman before. So kind of feeling that comfortability to reach out and truly explain my situation, and having somebody hear me out and not judge where I was at or how I got into the circumstances. Financially, starting over is overwhelming, but it's another aspect to do it when you have another person to take care of. It wasn't just me. I had my son I had to think of, and I really appreciate Savvy Ladies and everything that they've done to help me get to a place where I can feel more confident.
Of course, is not for actually for lazy people. It's like almost a full-time job. Savvy Ladies played a very important role in educating me, and actually also in inspiring me to educate myself by empowering me. And actually, instead of giving me fish, it taught me to fish.
Before I found Savvy Ladies, I was trying to decide what to do with the rest of my life. I had Social Security and a small pension, and that was it. I had a house, but I needed to make sure that the rest of my life was going to be okay. I did take the little bit of money that I made from that house, and I put it into a fund that will give me the ability to spend the last years that I have. But I feel finally at the end of my life like I know what to do with my money, and it's going to take care of me. I have a PhD, but I did not know how to handle my money. My parents were poor. What they had, they spent, and they gave it away. My father didn't even have enough to really have a funeral. So I will leave that for my daughter. Thanks to Savvy Ladies.
This award recognizes inspirational role models who are not defined by age or labels, but are all about living fully at any age. And it's a woman who projects the inner and outer glow that comes from living life, an integrated life of purpose, service, and humanity. So I want to tell you a little bit about Francis Financial and Savvy Ladies. So Francis Financial, with her team, specializes in financial planning and expertise for women experiencing divorce or loss of a loved one. So it's a very unique expertise, and they work closely with divorce attorneys, moderators, coaches, and other divorce professionals around the country. So Stacy has received, as you can imagine, so many awards, but one of the most recent was from Worth Media, and she was selected as one of the top 100 women in America who are influencing their industries. She was in very good company on this award, along with Simone Biles, Taylor Swift, and Greta Gerwig. So it's quite an accomplishment. Not being a woman to rest on her laurels, Stacy also is the founder of Savvy Ladies. So Savvy Ladies is a not-for-profit that was formed in 2003, and this was born from the memory of Stacy's grandmother. So she was a woman whose only choice seemed to be to remain in an abusive relationship due to an abusive marriage due to financial insecurity. So no more. Through a no-cost program that includes one-on-one counseling, workshops, seminars, and a helpline, Savvy Ladies has grown steadily over the past 20 years with a team of qualified pro bono volunteers that have helped 25,000 women. 25,000 women in the New York City area become reliant, financially educated women. So, bravo. So, in honor of this work at Savvy Ladies, Stacy was recently asked to ring the closing bell at NASDAQ to close out Women's History Month for her contributions to financial empowerment. So, as a wife, a mother, an iconic businesswoman, you may ask how Stacy keeps that fabulous energy going at age 49? 49, don't tell. But would you believe that she just recently finished the Ironman competition in North Carolina, where she swam. She swam half a mile, she hiked 56 miles, and she completed a 13.1 mile run. So I think after that, everything else is duck soup. So.
Thank you. I wish my children were here because they just look at me as mom, and I'm pretty boring. In fact, when I left, my son asked where I'm off to. He's in exam week, so he was home. And I said, I'm going to this really amazing group of women, and I'm going to talk about how important financial literacy is. And so I really want to say thank you for this award, Women of Purpose, because what you're doing is you're really putting in the spotlight how important financial literacy is. I saw that very, very, very young in my life, where I watched my grandmother, who I loved more than anything, stay in an abusive marriage, and seeing her bruises, seeing him, the way he treated her, and even in front of us, it really scarred me, and it was unbelievably devastating to lose her, because one of the things that Anne didn't mention that sometimes I have a hard time sharing is that he actually murdered her. And so I lost my grandmother when I was very young, and it taught me the importance for women to know about money, because I asked her why she stayed before she died. And why do you think she stayed? She felt financially trapped, right? We have so much to do. There is a very large gap, not only a gap in income, but there is a gap in retirement savings. And I am absolutely dedicated to narrowing that gap, to increase financial literacy, to increase financial confidence, because we have an epidemic among women, and it doesn't matter what socioeconomic status you are at, what age you are at, what your racial background is. We see this across the majority of women, and it has to change. All the statistics you see of women living in poverty, I want you to say here, women living in poverty. In retirement, we are 3 times more likely to subsist on having 70% of our income just from Social Security. Can you live on $2,500 a month? Well, very few people can. That's why I started Savvy Ladies, and it was my love letter to my grandmother. And quite frankly, it was the fuck you to my grandfather. And what I want to share with you today, especially because we're talking about entrepreneurship, I started Savvy Ladies when I was 26, and I thought that I would receive funds because this is such an important mission of financial education for all women, free of charge, no matter what your income is, no matter what your background is, and we received 0. And so the next year, I went out and I started my own wealth management firm, fee-only fiduciary firm, and I decided I was going to make, excuse my language, a shitload of money. That was my goal, and it took me a long time. But I knew that if I could make my for-profit for successful through Francis Financial, I could donate, and I could donate big to an organization that would work with the women who are the most vulnerable, the women who are in need, the women that no one thinks about, and that the financial industry refuses to talk to because they don't have money. So what I want our message to be here, while it's a very difficult story, I want this message to be a message of hope, that we can make a difference. And one of the most important differences you can make is to be phenomenally successful in your business. Because I truly believe the more money you make, the more you raise that glass ceiling, the more you open the possibilities of what you can earn, the more you can give to missions that are saving lives, that are making a change. And so with that, I say, go make money. And I say, go invest in your financial education and pass it on to any other woman to learn more. SavvyLadies.org, 250 courses. We have a helpline with 300 CFP volunteers, and we work with thousands of women across the US, and it's all free of charge. So please come to Savvy Ladies, get educated, and get savvy. And thank you again.